try to imagine going for a 18-hour drive, right? And for the majority of it, to be able to look off the side and see the horizon along with 1,000-foot straight fall to the rocks. The PCH was a crazy drive. Now, this was just the start of our trip, okay? Now, there was the aspects of the drive, right? There were the spontaneous surf stops along the entire way. And then there was actually making it to Ventura, California, where I met my family. Some people think of a road trip could be like almost like a never-ending family bonding experience, right? You have this absurd long drive, right? And you have the constant bathroom breaks, always wanting food, right? And I was fortunate enough to have my grandpa and my uncle along with me, which made the experience a lot more enjoyable, okay? Now, my grandpa grew up as a trucker. He has drove the PCH more times than I can even imagine, okay? So, as my source, he was kind of the guy. But I will say that we did do some research and had to use, Google Maps to try and figure out, at one point there was a rock slide on the PCH. So we had to bypass it on a certain route that he didn't necessarily know. So I would say for my source, I would say using Google Maps or Waze to help us kind of navigate those treacherous areas was very helpful. But the PCH was our main. That was our straight shot. We took the PCH starting in Newport, Oregon, and drove it all the way down to Southern California. And as we drove along it, there were so many different aspects that made me really just appreciate where I was at. I was super grateful and thankful to have experienced such a cool adventure. Now, what makes the PCH a really cool drive, okay? You have, at what point you are what seems like an endless fall to the rocks, winding along the coastline, seeing the sun set on the horizon with the clouds over the top, and then you have at one point the redwoods. You drive through and these big tall trees coming up, right? And you navigate these areas that are historical, like mile markers that are super special and quite timeless, honestly. So the drive was really fun for me because in the back of my mind, I was like, I just want to get to California, get to Ventura, get to the surf spots, right? But it allowed me to appreciate where I was at, with who I was with, and really just kind of enjoying that time with my family. I think with that being said, that wasn't my highlight of the trip, okay? As great as it was, I think for me the highlight was we would be driving, nothing special, just driving down the coastline, and we'd look off the window, and we'd sure enough be like, oh man, there's a good break. Point breaks, shore breaks, reef breaks even, you can find a couple. So, meanwhile, this entire drive, we're looking at surf spots. We're trying to find waves, right? So, we would drive the PCH, and we'd pull off, hop out, watch a couple of sets roll through. If it was good enough, we'd wetsuit up, go on out, and try and score some waves. So our first stop was in Crescent City. Water was 48 degrees, right? I don't know if anybody understands the aspect of that, but like a block of wax for waxing down a surfboard, there's grades to it. There's warm, cool, cold, X-cold in this particular. X-cold goes to 58. And this is the thickest wax I could even get my hands on. So hopefully that can give you just a bit of perspective of this water was bone chilling. Even in a wetsuit, it was like, man, this is crazy. But, the air temp made it a little bit nicer. It was a calm, 60 degrees in the morning. So it was cold. And it was fun, though. It was a unique experience, something that I can say I enjoyed. And I'm out there with my uncle, and my grandpa's on the beach watching me and my uncle surf, which was really special for me. We continued down the coastline and just had a hard time finding a good swell. The way the waves were rolling in just wasn't ideal. So, okay, let's keep rolling. Let's get further south. All the way down to Pismo. Pismo was our first sign of okay, we got a 3 to 4 foot swell with some good waves. And so we went out there, a lot warmer water. But, we're constantly checking Surfline, this app that tells us, the swell, the direction, tide, speed, all the moving factors into finding a good wave. So we're checking Surfline down the whole coastline trying to find some good waves. And So that played a key role in finding really nice surf spots. You know, with that, I will say that even with the crazy drive, the spontaneous, pull over, get out, look at the waves, get back in the car, keep driving, or pull over, wetsuit up, go surf, that was all great, right? But when you like really zoom out and you look at like the whole intent of this trip, it was about getting to Ventura. Okay, my family's from California. I'm born and raised out of Oregon, but I have really close family in California, and yes, the drive was fantastic. The surf was awesome. Loved it. But I wanted to get there. I wanted to get to Ventura to where I had family and I had surf spots wired. Like, no matter what the swell was, I could go there and have an absolute blast, right? Now, that destination, Ventura, California, it's close to some just staple surf spots. So you have C Street, you have Ventura County Line, you have, Malibu's not too far, Leo Carrillo's not terribly far, Rincon. These are all surf spots that the Beach Boys would sing about in Surfing USA. They would list these spots off. And so I have family here, and I get to go surf these spots with my family. And, at one point I was in the water, right? And I'm just thinking back, I'm like, man, what was started with an endless drive to crazy surf, right? And the extremities of the cold water to flat waves to, a fun Pismo experience with a lot of people out. Now I'm sitting at a surf spot with a handful of my family and just totally at peace, and it was just like, man, this is a trip that I want to take my kids on down the road, kind of a thing. And I allowed to have a little bit more of a different perspective of like, set the trip aside, set the surfing aside, set the drive. All of it doesn't matter. It's like, in this moment with my family, catching waves, doing what I love. And I would say with that, you can take I-5. You can go drive and cut maybe 4 hours off your trip. But the PCH is special, right? This is a milestone highway. This is a place that, it's been around for a really long time, and the views are spectacular. And then just the random surf with my family, and to say I did it, right? To say I went and did this crazy drive with my family, and we did the surf and stuff, and for me, it was something that I'm super thankful for and very grateful for. So I would highly encourage you, if you guys ever have the opportunity, load up and just go. Just go do it. Just get on the road and go south.